Thanks for your company on Sky News this afternoon. Another interest rate rise that dominated a big part of Question Time this afternoon, along with the broader issue of cost of living. Let's bring in Andrew Clennell, our political editor. And Andrew, not just rate rises, but as I say, cost of living generally. And at the same time, we've got this political dynamic where the coalition are really pushing up and butting heads with the Albanese government right now.
It's blocking everything, aren't they, in terms of bills that the government wants to put through. And that inspired the Prime Minister to compare Peter Dutton to Tony Abbott. And some of this does look like it's from the Tony Abbott, Peter Credlin opposition playbook. And boy, that was a pretty effective playbook. We know that. He hit off us, Tony Abbott. But Peter Dutton doesn't seem to want to pass any of the government's legislation at all. Now, you might say, well, oppositions are like that, but particularly here, like this is much more than we saw in the last term from Labor, I think. We've got the climate safeguards mechanism. They're going to try to block that. You've got the National Reconstruction Fund. They're going to vote against that or amend it. And the referendum machinery bill for the voice, they're looking to vote against that unless Anthony Albanese makes some changes. So in Question Time, Anthony Albanese called them the No-alition, as he defended the government in the face of yet another interest rate increase.
And of course, interest rates started to increase under the former government. And before the election, they said that they acknowledged that that was an inevitable consequence of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, placing pressure on supply chains. Those opposite have turned the coalition again back into the no-alition. They not only want to bring Tony Abbott back onto their Senate benches, but they want to go back to the policies where they just said no to absolutely everything. So the political party that told the car industry to leave are going to oppose a National Reconstruction Fund.
Okay, so Ed Husic, who's on the program in a moment, he followed suit down that path in terms of criticising the opposition for just blocking things for the sake of it, for political points.
The Albanese government has committed to one of the largest investments in Australian manufacturing capabilities in peacetime, independently run, with an investment mandate, looking at delivering a return to the taxpayer, building capability, and not a colour-coded spreadsheet in sight. What happens?
Members on my left, the Deputy Leader of the Opposition.
The no-alition roars back. The no-alition roars back to life. The unreconstructed Tony Abbott wanting to say no to growing the economy, wanting to say no to growing jobs.
So there you go. Well, Kieran said cost of living was a big theme, and they've got a spring in their step, the opposition, in relation to this, because plenty to hit the government with. If it wasn't interest rates, it was gas bills.
An elderly couple in my electorate of Flinders, Joe and Julie Saragusa, were contacted by their energy company in January and were advised they were facing an increase of over $667 on their gas bill over the next 12 months. Why do Australians always pay more under Labor?
I say that we acknowledge that there are cost of living pressures on Australian families at the moment, which is why we don't sit back and do nothing about it, which is why we don't vote against it, which is why we come in here and we take action.